Well, it is time for some Bleach Soul Resonance, and I think it's about time we place Soi Fon here on this list somewhere, as well as go through some of what I'm feeling as far as the game is concerned, and how I feel she changes the game. We can see here that we are 2 hours away from officially being 3 full days away from Zay Laporto showing up. That'll make it Tuesday, which means that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday will be when he shows up. We should be getting kit details, reveals, things of that nature very, very soon. I expect big things from him. I already gave my thoughts on what I think he could do, what I think he might be built like. So I think naturally it's time to just talk about Soi Fon. So let's not do an entire list overview again, like changing around again. We're just going to talk about Soi Fon here. I will change a few things on the list, mostly in response to Soi Fon and Yoruichi currently being paired, because that is very important. But beyond that, I don't want to shake up the list, go through every single character. Not every single character has changed. My Yuri affected a lot of characters because a lot of characters do ailment damage. Soi Fon, by comparison, is a much more singularly focused character, and we really won't see her position change until, spoiler alert, Grimmjow shows up, right? So, Soi Fon is a damage-dealing support character, a tactics character, a sub-DPS, if you will. She is, at least to me, an extremely reliably powerful character. She has extremely low time on field. I think the only character that sort of matches her time on field is probably my Yuri, who gets in and out very, very quickly. Another character like that would probably be someone like Gin, who does not spend much time at all on field outside of using his ultimate, right? So that is a huge plus for her. Her battlefield skill is pretty easy to activate. It gives 40% strike damage, which I think is the correct choice. I do not think that I want Soi Fon to be another universal character. If you add too many universal characters, you just end up picking the single best one every time. If Aizen was the best universal character, you would just pick him every time. Same thing with Nellel. That's a problem with Nellel, actually, because once you have her at Boundary 2, you could start considering bringing her to everything, almost. So it is one of those things where I do like variety. One thing you could say maybe about Soi Fon then is that her being so singularly focused means that maybe she should be doing more damage. She should be better in this or that way. To me, I think she's about as strong as I need her to be. I do think so. I do think I like Soi Fon where she's at. I don't think I need her to be that much stronger. I understand instead that the problem does ultimately lie with her team not being even near to complete. She is the strike sub DPS. Her strike DPS character is a standard banner unit, and her strike support character, strike quote unquote, is Kisuke Yorihara, who is a universal character. She does not have a Mayuri on her team. She does not have a Gin on her team. You know what I mean? She does not have a Toshido on her team. She is singularly the character supporting the strike team. Because of that, they did give Yoruichi quite a few buffs. One in particular is that when she gives a bonus to Yoruichi, which is very cool. That said, beyond that, she is mostly acting as a battery for Yoruichi to be pretty exceptional, but only exceptional to a point. I will say that comparatively, if you started the game and you just have Yoruichi at B0, she is nowhere near the juggernaut that mine is, as well as having her core stamp at level 5, right? I've gotten a lot of Yoruichi core stamps. Even during this event, I got a bonus Yoruichi core stamp that I dusted and turned into materials, right? This is a character who, because she is free to play, you need to get the most possible out of her kit through boundaries, through weapon stamps. I have 3 here, through core stamps. I have all 5, etc., etc. It means that your mileage may vary a ton, and because of that, Soi Fon's mileage is going to vary a ton. That is a negative for Soi Fon. We have a way of ranking characters in Dokkan where characters need to lead a team in Dokkan typically. The Dokkan Fest characters have a team. We do judge them based on if their teammates fail, because we are not bringing those characters unless we're running the Dokkan Fest who's leading that team. To that extent, Soi Fon is a character who sort of needs to bring Yoruichi. If Yoruichi doesn't, you know, stand up to the likes of Kenpachi and Gin and Toshido, then that does sort of reflect poorly on Soi Fon, because she's required to bring her. I do think that Yoruichi does a ton, and I do think that Yoruichi gets the credit for things that Soi Fon is doing a little too much. Yoruichi without Soi Fon isn't even like 80% of the character, you know, 20% of the character, 30% of the character that she actually is. Soi Fon is necessary to get the most out of that character. Whereas you see characters like Mayuri, who's very generalist, characters like Gin, once you have Nelel, whoever you put in that support slot, it doesn't really matter. You can have Mayuri, you can have Yodohara, you can have Rangiku. You don't really care, because Gin and Nelel as a pair are strong enough. Same with Kenpachi. Kenpachi doesn't really have a set tactics character. That does hurt him. Characters like Aizen are good, but when you actually think about what Zaraki Kenpachi is doing, he doesn't have a character that perfectly blends into his like play style, right? We just know that Kenpachi doesn't need a lot of field time, and by comparison, Aizen does need a little bit more field time to get off his full attack chains, right? So, with all that being said, sort of about these characters, what does it sort of mean for Soi Fon then? And we can move over to here. I think Soi Fon deserves to be at least in this conversation. Right now, if I had to really think about the teams that are presented, right? I had to think about who we are running. And I think about this in a free-to-play context, so B0 to B2. I'm going to say, it's tough, you know. I'm coming into this sort of like doing it on the fly. You know, it is tough to sort of think about. I'm coming in here on the fly. Where would I put Soi Fon? Toshido is really good. So is Yodohara. Gin is obviously the best DPS. I want to say that... Here's the thing. I want to say that if I think that B0 Soi Fon and B0 Nelel are similar, I want to say like this. And it's nothing against the DPS, it's just that the tactics characters obviously provide a service that is sort of hard to like ignore. Same like here, right? I really wouldn't be too mad putting it there. And I think a character like Yoruichi has seen a rise, in my opinion, here. But do I really feel that way? Toshido is so good. I mean, this is literally the best it's funny because like arguably this is the best like 5 characters in the game. Sorry. So because like the support gods are the support gods. Like they're like in tier 000 or something. And then like these characters are sort of like where characters get normal again. When Grimmjow comes out, I can see Soi Fon moving up here. But for now, I do think what she's doing is stronger than Yodohara. I do think that at B0 and B2, what she's doing is stronger than Kenpachi. And if I think that, then I probably think that about Toshido, though I want to put an asterisk there because I don't have Toshido dupes, I don't have his weapon. I'm only going on vibes. So if you're like, oh my god, how could you do this to Toshido? Hey, take this with the biggest grain of salt you think you need, because like it's not about Toshido. It's about like, this is me respecting Toshido's buffs. It genuinely is, because with little use of him, I'm still like, that character looks insane. I really like Soi Fon. I think I want to say here conservatively. I want to be conservative about Soi Fon because I do think that Yorihara affects the game more right now because Soi Fon is on her team. The thing is, though, I do think that when I compare what she's doing to the rest of the cast, I do think I'm closer to feeling like she's in this realm of just being like one of the necessary characters to have, but I don't want to overshoot her because she is missing her partner in Grimmjow, right? Grimmjow is not in the game. Do I feel good about moving Yoruichi up? I kind of do, because in what circumstance would I want to use Bankai Ichigo over Kenpachi? And if it comes to that point, then does he really deserve to be at the top of S rank when I'd rather just be using other characters? I don't think so. I'm also going to move Tosin down because I do think that Nellel is just such a gap character that I'd rather be filling in these slots, because this is how I look at it. If I'm building a team, if I'm building an account and all of these characters are up, who am I pulling? I'm pulling Nellel first. I'm pulling characters like Mayuri. I'm pulling Gin. I need the tactics characters. I'm gonna get free to play Yorihara. I need Soi Fon. And then I'm gonna start filling out my DPSs. I'm definitely gonna grab Kenpachi and Toshido, right? And then the rest of these characters I'm not really thinking about, right? But look at that list. Support, and then gap. And then I want the supports now. I need the support role filled out, right? That's what I'm thinking. I need the support role iced up. I don't really need tactics characters, right? So that's how I'm kind of looking at the game in like context of like why I'm leading this way. I think I feel good about that. I do think I think this will be one of the more controversial lists because I think people are down on Soi Fon, but I think she's kind of necessary, and I'm hedging my bets that Grimmjow is going to make her, I'm gonna say, a top 2 character in the entire game. Aizen is about to get that same treatment alongside Toshido. If Toshido got a rerun, I would love to pull for his weapon. But yeah, I think we're about to see a real glow up for the girl, and she is being grossly undervalued for sure. I'm being very nice when I put her behind Yorihara, but if I'm being honest with how I think that she affects your account, because my lists are about how do these characters affect your account, I actually think she's closer to up here. Genuinely. I don't think you can play Bleach Soul Resonance without Soi Fon long term. I think the people who are skipping her, because there are some people who are like, oh, she doesn't do 500 million damage like Nellel. I think you're gonna really regret it in, what is it, 4 weeks, 4.5 weeks or something like that. I think you're gonna really fucking regret it. I think Soi Fon is gonna be one of those characters that people are like, I'm not pulling on her because she's not doing 500 million damage, and this character is going to, just absolutely obliterate the game. I mean, she's giving so many opportunities to counter. Her ability to proc counterattacks, as well as this like her countering with perfect dodge, and then through that she raises her passive, which gives a counterattack. I think she is going to be extremely powerful. When that gets replaced, when this little like dinky character gets replaced by Grimmjow, when Grimmjow's on the field and he's doing everything, and you just have Soi Fon coming in the background, like, ticking, and doing like 1 billion counters, I think you're gonna see a glow up that is really going to make people regret not grabbing this character in her time. I don't think you need B1, mind you. I don't think you need B1, but I think this is going to be a character people regret sleeping on for sure. I do think so. So I don't know. I'm tentatively, I'm going to just go down the list really quickly and just talk about my feelings very fast. Nellel is the best character in the game probably so far because her team is the best. Mayuri is second best in the game because his team is the best. Like, I mean, it just is what it is. This character These three characters rule the game right now, but he is not a support, so he's not up here. Aizen is one of the best characters in the game because he got a massive overbuff. Honestly, this character does not need to be buffed at all. For free to plays, B0 to B2, you only really need B1. If you ever want to pick up a copy of Aizen, B1 feels safe. B2, it makes him an incredibly valuable free to play asset. Gin is the best DPS in the game because his team is the best. That this is what it is. Soi Fon feels vital, completely vital to an account. I don't know how you play Strike with that. That's the thing about Soi Fon. There are teams you can play without the other characters. You cannot play Strike without Soi Fon, and you feel it. She is necessary to an account. I don't think she is actually skippable, and part of this list is the implication that if you're a free-to-play player, who can you kind of afford to skip? Yodahara is free and incredibly powerful. We'll probably see him dip a little bit once Zelaporo comes out, and we sort of see Zelaporo come up to here. But for now, I do think he sustains. Kenpachi is only below because I do think that DPS I will always value a little less than supports. The only example of this not being the case is Gin, who just is so dominant. Everything he does with the thrust team is just so ridiculously dominant, ridiculously overtuned, because it is our first complete team that it's like, it's just worth mentioning. But yeah, Toshido to the same effect. The spirit team is just not all there. I mean, you can have Momo there, it's just not there. Zelaporo will boost Toshido's stocks quite a bit, I would imagine. If my prediction is right and Zelaporo ends up being a crit rate booster, if that character boosts crit rate, and then we have the sort of conversation where this character got buffed, he's not so reliant on his weapon, he's not so reliant on dupe 2, we could be talking like, I don't have either of them. I'm at 47%, technically like 48%. I could go up to 68% crit rate. I don't have any of these pieces like actually 30'd. I don't even have this piece built. If that ends up being the case, we could be talking about a character who explodes in power, but we'll have to see. Crit rate buff by Zelaporo would be probably the thing I'm looking for the most out of that character. If he boosts crit rate, I think this character goes up and up and up to like here. But for now, I'm just going to say his team feels the most incomplete. Unless you have dupes, of course. If Hitsugai is your favorite character, he's extremely powerful, but this is a free-to-play list. Yoruichi, I feel like, edges out Bankai Ichigo in the free-to-play fight because the team just feels more complete. This character literally like combos with her, whereas I think Bankai Ichigo is our first character who was very on-field. Can you name a character who's more on-field than Bankai Ichigo that exists in this game right now? Probably just Aizen and Nelel and Toshido. Yeah, Toshido. The difference is Nelel is the best character in the game. Aizen's like the third best character in the game, if not the second best character in the game. And Toshido just got buffed ridiculously hard and is the only DPS in his color. Bankai Ichigo to me is only here because I don't really understand how he's necessary right now. He also is clunky in that he demands more time and not on a team that wants it. So Yoruichi has the optimal thing of she's field demanding, but she wants that time. Soi Fon is not field demanding. She does not want that time. I think the team just works out better. So I will have Bankai Ichigo here for now. The rest of these you could move around in any order. I think Rangiku does the most for teams, even that she's not on. I think the Himeneko mark is just way too good. Yachiru has great synergy with multiple characters, crit rate buffer, and notably can be on a team with Kenpachi, specifically the Kenpachi Yodahara Yachiru team, or the Kenpachi Mayuri, you know, just any sort of mix where you need three teams. I think Yachiru fills in the best. Momo, I find Momo a little clunky. Her animations are a little slow, and that does make me kind of sour on her. She's also about to get super giga replaced by Zelaporo in literally 3 days, so I think she can stay here. The rest of these don't really need any talking about. The order doesn't really matter too much, and will not change. But I think that is my list going into next week. I think tomorrow's video, if it's not information on Zé Leopoldo, then it's going to be me rating hype of the new characters who were sort of confirmed in that survey. And I'll probably make a list just like, you know, having some fun as we sort of count down the days. But yeah, I'm feeling this way. I think I'd be willing, you know, if you want to fucking dislike the video, hate me all you want for this, I'm not super fussed. If you think that it's more like this, or you think it's more like this, or you think it's more like this or this, like, I'm not super mad at that. Like, you know me. If you've been following this channel for long enough, you know I'm not like a hard ass, you know what I mean? Like, I just think this character is necessary. And when it comes to grading characters on free-to-play terms, I think necessary characters get bumps in lists. I do think so. I think if your character feels necessary, you get a bump. You do get a bump. That's why the support gods are in their own tier. It's not because I literally think that Nellel is like... At B0, Nellel is not stronger. Is not like stronger than this character. Like when you compare their teams. But when you compare this team, B0, it's like, well, alright. It's alright. Right? So, it is what it is. It is what it is. Hope you like the list. Like if you liked the video. I've been Lone. Subscribe to join the club. We all go make it. And peace.